Okay, we're gonna do this. I've been promising a walkthrough of the shop, and we're gonna make an effort to do it. It's a big shop, it's got a lot in it. This is gonna take a while, but I think you'll find it interesting. So let's start right here. Actually, no. Better idea. Let's start by walking in the door. Walking up to Father Fish, the very first thing you see is this massive painting mural on the front wall depicting a seascape. We spent 2 years fighting with the city about this. They finally begrudgingly approved it. This is our van with pictures on both sides of the mural. We have lots of plants, bog plants, aquatic plants, and bromeliads in front of the store with a lot of driftwood. This is an old boat that somebody deposited here, and we've turned it into a pond. So coming up on each side of the walkway are some little ponds, vats that we raise Daphne in. And coming up to the door. The door's closed because it's so intolerably hot. When you walk in, to the right is this beautiful 200-gallon semicircle that's available. It's completely plumbed out for saltwater, but of course can be used for anything. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tank. To the right are 3 little tanks, and you've seen most all of the tanks you'll be seeing, you've seen before. This little hex, or rather cube, has Everglades in it, Elasoma, and they're very tiny and hard to see. This is the 50-gallon tank. It's actually 40 long, been set up about 10 years. Need to get in and pull some algae out. Let's see the algae's coming up off the bottom. It's got a bunch of different kinds of fish in it. A lot of natives, mostly natives, is what currently is happening in there. A couple of scats in here. They're going to be getting some company soon. Silver scats, nice little fish. And then just on the other side of the door is another 40-gallon with Elasoma in it, and plants, all of which have volunteered. This was a tank I had put a few little plants in 2 years ago, and these have all come up. Example of what happens in a dirted tank. This is the office area, a window looking at the office. That's where I sit to do live streams. This little bird's nest up here is their donations box. We have lots of people who visit Father Fish who are here as tourists in the community. They come in, they have no intention of buying anything, but they'll make a donation to kind of help us out. This is a plaque that was given to me many years ago. It reads, "To Reverend Louis Foxwell, in grateful recognition of outstanding service to the National Aquarium in Baltimore." And it's signed by Frank Gunther, chairman of the board, 1982. I was a board member on the founding board when the aquarium was first established. So this is kind of a nice honor. Over here is a rack of collectibles, all sorts of shells and corals and fossils. Look at all the fossil teeth in here. All kinds of fossils. It goes on, there's piles of them, and on and on. So it's kind of a unique display. And they're of course all for sale. So we do sell some of this stuff occasionally. Okay, we're going to walk into the main body of the shop. Right in front of us is a tank that was donated by Tim. It's a 350-gallon tank made in about 1980 that has never held water, nor does it now. It is a leaker, but it's so spectacular that we just have to use it. We just keep the water level low so that it doesn't leak quite so much. Now I'm going to take you to the left. We haven't done this before. This is our saltwater section. We have two large 4-foot by 8-foot trays that are a foot deep, in which we have coral and coral types of fish. A lot of clowns in here right now. A lot of fish are just not available with this COVID problem, so we have been able to come up with a few corals, and you'll see some as we move along in here. The lighting is a combination of LED grow lights as well as plant and fish lights. That's a leather coral. Let's call it like a mushroom coral. More corals, little fish. Not a lot of fish. We just haven't been able to get a lot. They just haven't been available. To the left is our selection of clownfish. We try to keep a lot of clowns in stock, and they're selling out rather quickly. So we're going to have to re-up and get some more clowns right quick here. Oh, you see them. There they are. Try to get the glare out. That's better. In the other tray are some local killies, some mollies, a sailfin or two. There's a sailfin, and some live rock. These are operated by sumps. It's a big sump here, full of rock, and on the other side, another sump. Here they all are. Look, they're over here saying hello. Everybody's come over to say hello. Lots of clowns. About all that's available right now is the fish that have been bred in captivity. We have lots and lots and lots of rock. Here, there, and everywhere. This is full of rock. Also has fish in it that have been brought back. These are zebra damsels that are pretty nasty guys. They've been brought back. There's a trigger fish somebody brought in because he was too mean. There's the sailfin. Somewhere in here is a seahorse. I don't know if we're going to see him or not. Came in yesterday. These are mollies that have been conditioned to saltwater. They're brackish water fish, so they do quite well in saltwater. I don't see the seahorse. Let me look for him a bit. Found him. Moving toward the back there. We'll go around the other side. We'll be able to see him better. There he is. The majestic seahorse. Remarkable creature. All right. Now this is another sump. This sump is running the clownfish. That's a 100-gallon sump. Over here are bettas. Now I must warn you, I did not get my helper in this week to clean algae, and I've been too distracted to be able to do it. So there's a lot of algae on these betta displays, but we'll try to get some pictures of some of the bettas, give you an idea of what we have. It would be helpful to have this cleaned, but it's not. These are some guppies. Now, in here, we collected some Neocaridina black. You see a red right there. Collected them locally. Some at the top. He ain't black, he's kind of clear. Might be blue. I don't know if we're going to spot him or not. Here are a few more. They're tiny, of course. Maybe you can spot something if I'm not doing so well. Oh, there we go. A few more. As well as some guppies. Female bettas, more bettas. And then we have this long row, freshwater, that has some of their more unique oddballs in it. For example, this is an African lungfish. Can't do much, just sort of lays there all day. These are Enlarged Dragons. They're about a foot long, maybe a little better. Two of them in there. And coming down in the back, if you can see him, is a siren. He's about 20 inches long. Come on, let's get you to come out. He was caught locally a couple of years ago. We've had him for a long time. It's a salamander. On down are mostly some Africans, poplos, such stuff. Now I want to go backwards because I want to pick up this middle aisle here. See what's in here. Don't remember what's in that tank. Oh, maybe not much. Plants, of course. Probably some shrimp. Here's some guppies. 2 guppies, and then up top are more bedded. Let's start down here. Gotta work our way over the bubble nest. Somebody's taken a notion. There's a female. The male, it was mating, and somebody bought the male yesterday. So we broke up the pair, and she made apologies to him. Beautiful fish. These are all essentially 1 gallon cells with bettas that have plants in them. Behind us are two 8-foot tanks with natives in them. All different kinds of natives. These are mostly golden top minnows and flags. And then in here are kind of more of the same. There are also some bluefin killies. That's not a native, that's an invasive little tiny baby jewel fish. And then more in the bottom. Alright, coming around is our atrium. I'm not going to go in because it's so hot, but I'll show you. The atrium is our bird collection. We don't have a lot of birds right now. We do have these pretty little parakeets. Here are a few that we hatched out and hand raised. Pretty little guys. A couple of lovebirds. 1, 2, 3 lovebirds. Somebody asked me the other day how many, and I forgot to come count them. There is a brand new baby dove just fledged, sitting in the food dish, and one of his parents here. Here are the parents, actually. This is their nest. It's a food tray. You can see it. They probably have eggs in there, and they're probably hatching. Actually, I do want to go inside because we have babies in here. I want to show you the babies. Let's take a look here on our way in. This is our 200-gallon cichlid tank, which is mixed cichlids. See these nice big pretty parrots, Africans, South Americans. There's a big green. Terror, green terror. A little Oscar, a little sun cat, Severum, and a lot of Malawis. And sitting up top here is a denizen a biker, Polypterus. They'll easy, I think. Someone else will know better. Alright, let's take a walk in the atrium. I'll show you the babies. We've got babies everywhere. Down under there, but I'm not gonna go under there. We'll go over here. There's a little pond that provides bathing facilities, and we have this screen over it to protect from baby birds falling in, because they have a tendency to do that on their first flight. And of course, birds can't swim. So, let's see who's in here. Oh my goodness. Look at this. There's Mama with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 babies in there. And they need to start coming out of here. Look at that. Just nuts. You guys are nuts. Come on out of here. They're not quite ready. They're close. Lord, what a mess. Here's the doves. Let's see. A couple of eggs. Looks like nothing is hatched quite yet, but will shortly, I'm sure. They spend about 2 weeks on the nest. Lovebirds. And lots of parakeets. And some doves. That's about all we have in here right now. There's one little finch way up top there. It's actually a female Goldian. Alright, there's that. We're going to come back up front to where the 300 is. There are a couple of arowana in here. See if we can spot them somewhere. There's one back there. And these are some really nice, large, high-fin sharks. They're really not a shark, they're really a goby. And they get quite large and live very well with koi in big tanks. Now, coming over here, I keep a very few reptiles. We have some green lizards. What are they? Green geckos. They're geckos, right? Green geckos. And then in here are some very large millipedes. They're eating apple right now. Poor geckos. I missed the boa, the ball python out front. Maybe we'll look at him later. We're almost out of feeders. This is all feeders on this side. And we're getting low. We'll be getting more feeders tomorrow. There are a few peacock bass, little guys, right here. I don't know if you can see them. There they are. Some little peacock bass. More peacock bass. There are clown knives in here and little baby red-tail cats. Let's see the clowns. They're in the back. Baby rainbow cichlids. Not much in these right now. We had our koi in them, and they kind of sold out. On the back here is mostly feeders. This is the 55-gallon that we set up, golly, 9 months ago, 8 months ago. Still going strong. Haven't paid a lot of attention to it lately. Got a few goldfish, and it has some dwarf gouramis in it. These are 3 8-foot tanks, which contain some peacock cichlids hiding in the back, Malawis, and more Malawis. These are all smaller Malawis. Coming around in the back now is a collection of rock and some of these really nice trees from Indonesia. They're actually manufactured. Pretty neat. This is rock, this fossilized rock that Frank has been collecting. It's from the ground. It's not out of the water. So it has much sharper edges where the rain has worn it. Really quite nice stuff. Bunch of cichlids in here. I don't even remember what. I think mostly African. Over here, more Africans, Malawis primarily. This is natives. Central American. These are some baby severums. Some other fish in here too. Can't remember what, and I don't see them. Down here is a kind of a mix. It's a 55. Synodontis. Couple of different spacings. There's a little frontosa coming across. Otto, Salvini. There's a Pollini. And then up here, you've seen these buffalo before. There they are. They're in with little collectors. And some Tanganyikas. Okay, so around to the other side. This is a packing station, and this is Tim's little tank, which we're kind of stuck with at this point, trying to figure out what to do with it. It was donated to Kim, and the nursing home where she's living has refused to allow her to take delivery of it. We offered to set it up in their lobby, and they said no to that. So they're just paranoid. Maybe at some point they'll loosen up a little bit to be able to do something to help them. There are a few Calvis, I think, in here. These are little red Hondurans. Baby red Hondurans, and there's some a little bigger. Some Calvis in here. They're sunspot shellies. Right down on the bottom. We need to get some shells in here right away. This is natives, and these are all golden top minnows. A bunch of them in there. That tank is developing algae because it was just set up. It was the stand had rotted out. We had to take it down. We've just set it back up again, and it hasn't balanced yet, so it's getting some algae. The Boise. What else is in here? Some Regani, I think, hiding probably. There's at least one little discus in here somewhere. I don't have a free hand to stir things up, so we take what we can get. Shellies in here. These are Brevis Catawba, and there should be 10 of them, and they're probably all hiding in shells. I don't see any right now. They've only been in a day or two, so they're still pretty shy. These are the Cichlids. I have 3 of them in here, and I'm not sure that I have a pair. I think it may be 3 males or 3 females. I have sold some of them, and they actually did quite well. Up top here, someone brought in a tank full of iridescent blue Acaras. little ones. We've got lots of Acaros. Here's a little vampire goby, dragon goby. Back here in the corner are Lamprologus speciosus, which is just a delightful little fish. And then there's a Nano Splendens, a couple of them, that are in the back somewhere. You won't see them. And here are some Crebensis mutata. I think that's what that is. There's keyhole cichlids in here as well. And that's that group. This tank needs to be cleaned the worst kind of way. It has rainbows and algae. And algae, right. Rainbows and a few angelfish. A couple of angels in here. Not a lot in here right now. Mostly rainbows. This configuration is superworms and crickets. So we have live superworms and live crickets. We have frozen food. Lots of frozen food. Including some bulk stuff. Let's go in the back here a minute. Give you an idea of what's back here. This is a koi pond. And we're down low on koi right now. I've been selling a lot of koi. So we need to get more in pretty quick here. And then over here is a pond with their monsters in it. There's a 3-foot red-tailed cat, some pacu, a couple of big Lacostomus things, some large Oscars. There's one right there. What is all this stuff on here? There. Oscars. Here's the cat. This is our system. We have 1, 2, 3 vats. You can kind of see halfway there. That are filled by this tank. This tank receives the wastewater from our RO system that's over here, and then the 3 vats are topped off automatically from this wastewater tank. This is RO on the bottom. Here's our RO system up here. Generates hundreds of gallons a day. We only turn it on as needed. You can see actually this is full. This is RO water. We dump RO water into this barrel, put a bag of salt in it, and then pump it up there. So we have saltwater gravity fed. And that also provides water to our systems up front. There's some turtles in here. You can kind of barely see them. Hiding in there. A little bit of shot. They're all hiding in the back. These are side neck turtles. A couple of koi in here, and some Africans, a few Africans. Okay, and we're getting down to the end here. We have one last row of tanks, which is these. And there's nothing in the top row. We found it's too hard to get out there. So very little. There is something. I see a bed out there. There's at least one fish up there. This kind of got emptied the other day. We had some apistos in here, pea puffers, some pasky rainbows, more rainbows, dwarf frogs, some oddball lemon tetrads, I think. No, those are rainbows. Those are spread fin rainbows. Down here are, I don't know what. Here's some ram, a ram at least, the little female. These are, oh, these are rice, where are the rice fish? In here? Here they are. Rice fish and these really pretty coral red serpes. Red chromides. I don't know what's in there, not much. I think maybe a little popper. These are transcriptus, Chulidochroma transcriptus, coming up front to look at, and some larger rigani, a couple of big rigani. Up top are redhead tapajos, glowfish. Those are the chromides we saw. Up top are silver, what are they? Somebody tell me what they are real quick. I didn't write it down, I can't see it. Silver dollars. Silver dollars. And their big 200-gallon angel tank. And again, not a lot in here right now. They're kind of low for this summer. We're going to go down this summer. There's a chocolate, a couple of chocolate cichlids, really, really nice fish. Some little baby uaru swimming by. There's a couple of rams. Another uaru, rainbow, angels, bunch of angels, more angels. Now let's look at this. Right above my head is a massive 12-foot, 600-pound stingray. And get a look at him. I had an artist in here for 6 months making this. He wanted to do something for Father Fish, and this is what he wound up doing. So I supported him for 6 months while he built this. Magnificent. I need to figure out what to do with it. Here we go. These are 500-gallon. Some small red tails. There's a very big, fat polypterus. A couple of very large clown knives, a peacock bass, a jaguar, a little red belly pacu, and some Oscars. And last but not least is our blackwater tank, which is a source of study and investigation and bemusement at any time of the day or night. It's just loaded with all kinds of little fish. So, I think we've done it. Trying to think of anything else we've missed. I think we actually looked at everything. So let's look back at me a minute. Dying from the heat. It is miserable. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little tour of Father Fish. You got to see, I think, every tank in the shop. Take care. Today's Sunday. I will see you all a little later on our live stream at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.